What is up, everyone? My name's Lisa. For those of you that may not know, so this morning I've been just doing a lot. I've really just been having some me time and taking care of myself and catching up on a few things, and all having to do with like taking care of myself. And this is like a very important part of my life, especially because I work so hard, like all the time. And, taking care of yourself gives you more energy. Like, you think that you don't have time, or at least these are the things that I used to tell myself, like, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do this. And, I'm too tired or whatever. But what I found is when I take the time to do the things that I want to do that help me, mentally, physically, emotionally, it's like I have more energy to do the things that are just like connected to the more practical sides of life, like getting up and being at work at 5:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? So, so anyway, I was also just contemplating about, I just have just had so much like going on, and so much that I've been writing about, and I love writing. That's like one of my deepest passions. I've been doing it since I could write, and I've been writing poetry like since I was a little girl, and short stories and things like that. And so this morning I was just like doing that, and it just I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, but I did post a poem on Instagram. So for those of you that follow me there, you could check that out. But anyway, I was going to pull one of these cards. I got these a long time ago. I don't know, years ago. They're called these Spiritual as Fuck. I also have they have Grateful as Fuck, or Grateful AF, whatever. Spiritual AF. I already said the F word, but anyway, they're funny. Whoever came up with them, like, they talk a lot like me, so I really connect with them. But I was gonna pick one of these cards, as I was like, that's what I was guided to do, like to go on and talk about it. And as I was picking up the deck to start shuffling it and turning on the computer at the same time, this card came out, and it goes right in line with everything that I've been reviewing in my own life. And I really feel that the things that we experience in life and the things that we overcome, we get through these things, or we get to the other side of these battles, whether they're just like within us or outside of us or whatever. It's like we get to the other side of them so that we can help others get to the other side of them, right? Okay, so it says, love like people aren't total assholes, all right? It says, of course you've been hurt. People can be stupid, selfish, destructive fucknuts, but choosing to live life with your dukes up, waiting for the asshole in everyone to come out, insulates you from the brilliance in people. You'll be a force to be reckoned with if you love people with the tenderness and ferocity of someone who's digging for the gold in everyone. So, and that's like what I was thinking about, because, I started this channel, like, I don't know, I feel like it was like 10 years ago or something. And it's been a while, it's been a while I've been doing this, and I do it because I love it. I started it in hopes of like helping twin flames. Like, I was initially awakened when, I guess it's been like 10 years, like to the deeper capacity of like where, because there's like all kinds of like these spiritual awakenings. But then I had this one spiritual awakening of like where I met the person that I refer to as my twin flame. And that is when I was awakened to how magical and out of this world life truly is, right? And I had just come out of losing the 6 closest people to me in my life, and meaning like everybody passed away within a 19-month period. And then a couple years later, the person that I refer to as my twin flame passed away. And it was just like a very devastating time. And as I've developed the relationship that I have with myself and done my own research, I found that a lot of people experience their spiritual breakthroughs after like some serious traumatic events in their life, and losing 6 people within a 19-month period, I feel like that qualifies, right? So anyway, so, it's just like, just thinking about how much I've changed since I started my channel, and how my thoughts on the twin flame journey have changed, and just what that's developed into, how I've also connected, like realized that, I've always been a certain way, referring to like titles. Like I've never really resonated with like having a favorite something, or like referring to myself as a certain name or whatever, like having a title. Like I've never really resonated with that. And even with religion, like, for me, the way that my understanding and my connection with the universe and God has developed and grown is, I've studied many different, like Hinduism, and, I've read things about Buddha, and, and then there's like more like Edward Casey and Nikola Tesla, just all different viewpoints. And, what I found for me is that I don't feel that any of it is wrong. If our thoughts create our reality, like why would anybody's perception or idea of the world, or the world and how they see it, like why would anybody's idea be wrong, right? So then I went further into, because I'm a super freaking deep thinker, like sometimes I just like I like really get down in there, so I was just thinking about like how, when I first started this channel and the twin flame journey, and just how my connection with my counterpart was so magical. And to this day, I've never heard anybody's story that has a story like mine. And that's because, I guess, I'm assuming it's my story, because it was just meant for me. And, I'm very grateful for the experience that I shared with him, and the connection that I still have to this day, even though he's not on this earthly realm. He is still very much connected to me, and I feel him as a guide, moving forward and helping me to understand myself. He is definitely one of my guides. And so, but as far as like, I used to think that the whole purpose was for, he and I to eventually one day be together, and, part of a twin flame mission is to raise the vibration of humanity, meaning, what I believe and what my experience has taught me is that it's like, we were to bring back the true sanctity of marriage, of like the union of lovers uniting, like being together because you want to, because over the years there's been so many different reasons why people get married, and least of all, it has to do with truly loving another. But then it's like, as I'm continuing to grow and understand myself and learn to forgive myself for the way that I have shown up in my own life and reacted to different situations, you know, I kind of developed this understanding that it's like more about balancing my own divine masculine, divine feminine within. And in doing that, it's like I've really been exposed to, you know, my weaknesses and my thought process and the parts of me that really needed cleaning up, and how these things have been taught to me is through my relationships with other people. You know, they say like twin flames are, and I'm seeing over here, this card right here, it has like a mirror. Okay, twin flames are like a mirror. Okay, but when I first began, I came across, I think I was reading like Odyssey or something, one of these like really like ancient plays, and there was a part in it, it's something about and I'm gonna like totally be butchering it, okay, but it was about how, just explaining how the two souls, like we were all born with like 4 arms and 4 legs, and then it was like they split us in two, and it's like these 2 souls are like forever, it's like one soul, but it's like they're forever looking for each other, you know, to unite. And so you know, I just thought that was fascinating. And then once I read that, like I read that, and it was shortly thereafter, like within like a matter of weeks, that my twin flame actually like walked through the doors of where I worked at the time, and it was literally like an earthquake was happening in Florida. Like it was crazy. Like it was just the weirdest, wildest experience of my life, like to this day. Okay, that and the first time that we kissed. Okay, so anyway, so I believe that my experience has been like this, it's like this upward spiral, right, of understanding myself. And at first this was the way that like God had to get my attention, the universe was getting my attention, was because this is the way that I chose to wake up. Now, you know, there are I do believe in like the 144,000 spiritual healers that were sent here first to help the world wake up, you know, because we are, those of us of this 144,000 are here to help the world as they awaken, because people are going to be awakening more and more and more as the years go on. You know, I am also a believer that we're already in like having World War III. Like World War III is actually a spiritual war. It's the war between, for our souls, right? Like between like good and evil. And then it's like, what is good and evil, you know? Anyway, everything I believe in, what I've come to understand is really all connected and interwoven and as one, as well as you and I, you know, as I've continued to grow and develop through my spiritual awakening and through my own like twin flame journey, or just the balance of my divine masculine, divine feminine within, as well as helping others through, you know, doing their own readings between their own divine masculine, divine feminine, and helping them to grow. You know, it's not a path for the faint of heart, okay? It's truly a path of looking within and yeah, I'm hearing the words rediscovery, the rediscovering of self. And it's not so much about being united with a specific person. It's more about being united and awakened to who you truly are. And for me, that has come and continues to come with the deepening of my connection to the universe / God. Okay. I do believe that God has created all of us in his likeness, making us all gods and goddesses. Okay. Not the God. Okay. For me, I believe there's only one God. Okay. He is like master of the universe. But he has allowed for all of us to have free will, and he has buried within us are all of the tools that we need to create the life and reality that we want. Now, that's where the tricky part is, because it's like, yes, everybody is able to achieve and have all that they desire. But what you desire relies in how it shows up for you, really has a lot to do with your intention. There's a lot of people that can, manifest wealth and manifest like all these, outwardly desirable things. And so that means like everything may look really beautiful and grand on the outside, but on the inside, there's been no character growth. So they may not really be that great of a person. And I feel like part of that balancing of your divine masculine and your divine feminine is to have it all, meaning like having those luxuries, because God wants us all to live with everything. I am a firm believer that there's enough of everything for everyone. So there's like no need for jealousy or greed or envy, but it's like also having to do the inner work, which usually stems from some childhood issue or generational issue that's like been passed down that you may or may not be aware of. Okay. But it comes out, in the way that you show up and present yourself into the world, and how you relate to other people. So, and those issues I find are very necessary to deal with and face. For me, this twin flame journey and the pathway that has led me to learning to balance the divine masculine and divine feminine within myself has also helped with so many codependent dynamics within my relationships. I'm talking with friends and family, or just even people just out in the world. I've gone through many different stages of this to get to where I am today. Today, I show up a lot more confident in my reality rather than like how I have been in the past. And that's from a serious deep dive inwardly to master my emotions, so that I'm not getting like, I'm not flipping out. I'm not like, that I can like talk sensibly, so that I can get my point across. I've also learned through this that there are certain people that, all they really do want to do is provoke you. And so those people I choose to like stay away from. But it's like, it's not that I'm like judging them. It's just that I know that there's some people I have learned that you can't, I have been unable to reach as far as like finding a compromise or a common ground. And it's not so much to say that those people are there's something wrong with them or anything like that. It's just that they're not in a place where they can hear me, and I'm not willing to, it's like fighting with somebody who just like all they want to do is fight, or like trying to compromise with somebody who only wants to fight, you know. And it's like learning that there are some battles that, yeah, you just have to walk away from, you know. And this is the Eight of Cups for those of you that don't know. And like, this is about walking away from situations that, yeah, they fill some of your cups, some of your emotions, you know. There was like some goodness there, but it's like, it's not the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is like that full, like having, just being completely satisfied with where you are and where you're at, you know. Yeah, that, which brings me to gratitude for the day and the moment. And you know, I don't know where I went for a while, but I've been extremely distracted, I guess, and you know, forgetting about, you know, how forever is truly like right now, because that's another thing that I've really embraced, that it's not a race, you know. Although I have had moments where it's like I have felt desperate for the resolution or the solution for you know, for me it's been like money. I'm a single mom, and you know, I have these ideas of like where I want to be and what I want to do to in order to feel comfortable. And then it's like, when I can get out of that mindset and know that I'm like doing everything that I possibly can, and understand that, like, I mean, God shows up for me. God has always shown up for me. And it's usually like when I'm like just about to freaking like smack my face like into the ground, you know, that he comes in and like swoops me up like Superman. And it's always been like that, because for me, what I found is like, it's about walking in true faith. And I've had to build up this trust in him, you know, because like other people, like, you know, people can be, what does it say? But choosing to live life with your dukes up, waiting for the asshole and everyone to come out. I've been like that, okay? Because I was terrified, and I've had to like work through all these fears in order to learn how to be more open to love and more successful with my relationships. Does that mean that I have like great, like great relationships? Or I feel that my relationships that I know that I have changed the dynamic in relationships in my life that I have felt like I was done with. And yeah, like just an irreversible effect. Like I felt like they had a irreversible effect on the way that I felt about them, and that it could never change. And how they've changed is not because the other person has changed, but it's just that I've chosen to look at myself and see how I'm showing up. Because if I'm showing up with my dukes up, like, I'm always going to be looking for the insult, right? So it's like I started showing up with my hands down, like walking more in a faith. And yeah, it was like terrifying, you know, because when you walk like that into a room, and when you've always felt attacked, to walk in with your hands down and witness a true change in the what you're viewing, okay, and just a complete change in the entire atmosphere. You know, it doesn't mean that I may be like super close or anything with these people, but it's like, I'm no longer afraid. I'm no longer waiting for the shoe to drop. You know, I'm no longer like waiting to, you know, like I'm ready, you know. It's being able to see it and even like curve around it, okay? Because it doesn't mean that shots don't still get fired, but how I choose to respond to it has definitely changed. And in responding differently it's literally changed my whole life. Like, and just it's only added to my confidence and my trust in God, okay? Because it's been very gradual over the years to build the relationship that I have with God now. You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm going to be living where I'm living right now for the rest of my life. And like, I'm totally okay with that. Like, it's where I live allows me to be independent. And that's also a level of freedom I've achieved through walking this path, like through learning to balance my divine masculine, divine feminine within, and allowing, it's like the allowing to be taught by God, to listen to what he's whispering to my soul rather than what other people say that it might be, you know? So, and like I said, you know, it doesn't mean that issues don't still arise in my life. In fact, issues that I've dealt with in the past continue to happen in this day. The only difference is that I respond differently. And it's been a beautiful experience, even though none of it has been like truly comfortable, you know? I mean, learning to, you know, fit into the skin that embodies me is a road I'm going to be traveling for the rest of my lifetime, right? So, anyway, I am going to continue to do my divine masculine, divine feminine energy readings. I do want to do them for the zodiac signs because I know that people relate to their zodiac signs. And so I want to also be relatable in that sense. But I also would like from you guys to continue to stay open-minded with that, because I don't want you to limit yourself to one thing. Like I said, I understand that we're all one. Everything is like literally like there is no miss and match or black and white. It's like, or like up or down. It's like everything is like the same. And you don't really need to understand like what I'm saying, and I don't even really feel the need to explain what I'm saying. Just watch my videos with an open mind and know that if you're drawn to the title, whether it's a zodiac sign title or just like a plain title, if you're drawn to the title, even if it's from a title that I did like 6 years ago, that is a message for you. And yeah, let's all just like continue to grow and dive deeper into who and what we are. And, you know, because that's where your power is found. It's like when you know who you are, and when you know your weaknesses and your scars and your when you own all this stuff, it's like nobody can mess with you about it, you know? And then it's like you also, this has at least been my experience, is that as I've learned that I have the issues that I have, it's easier for me to have compassion and take consideration for other people acting out in the way that I have in the past, you know, or even, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So it's really a truly beautiful experience, although it's not something that happens overnight. And I'm very grateful for those of us walking the path together, and that will continue to walk the path together, because I feel I just feel like the need to let you guys know. I mean, my channel has done so much in interacting with all of you, you know, whether it's through doing your reading or email correspondence back and forth. It's like, it's literally changed me, and I'm like forever grateful for how much I've grown. And you know, I will continue to share my experience, and you know, through my ups and downs, because my hope for you is that it doesn't take you as long as it took me to understand some things about myself, as well as I want you to, my wish for you is that you fall madly in love with who you are. Because when you fall madly in love with who you are, I just feel like you will think for yourself, and not be afraid to be who you truly are. Because that's also what this has pulled me out of, is just that need to fit in, or the need to have people like me. Like, yeah, it's nice to connect with people and everything like that, but it's not a need, or like, you know, I don't feel less than because everybody doesn't connect with me, you know, or understand me. It's like, it's not so much important to be understood as it is to be who you truly are, you know, from the heart, you know. And yeah, so my greatest wish for you is that you fall madly in love with who you are, and stop hiding or shrinking to fit in with the so-called in crowd, okay? And yeah, let your freak flag fly, you know, put down your dukes, and be open to see people as a child of God, you know. And I'm not saying that to be like all religious or anything. It's like I truly believe he created all of us in his likeness, you know, no matter where we are on our within our spiritual truth or our understanding, you know. So I don't know, I'm just a believer that we can all have it all without hurting people, hurting each other in the process. But it takes like a hypervigilance of self. And it doesn't mean that you're going to do it perfectly. I know I definitely have not done it perfectly, but I know that every day that's my only competition, is to be better than who I was the day before, and to show up as best as I can. And I want to show people that you can change. I have been a broken human being. I come from, I've been raped multiple times, gang raped, I mean, beat up, like every kind of mistreatment that you could possibly think of, I have experienced in my life. And it's like, that was like one phase of my life, was just this extreme abuse. And then I got sober, and that began this journey of healing. And then about, 10 years ago, I woke up to this even deeper spiritual path, of, it's just this pathway to a deeper connection with myself. And it's just brought it to a whole nother level. And I just feel like it just continues to, we just like continue going up, in this until I feel like, yeah, it just continues to evolve, right? You know, should I continue to stay vigilant in my side of the street, you know, my side, like, what can I do? It's not about like pointing out what other people can do, you know, it's about what can I do? Like minding my business, you know. I've shared on my channel before about how, you know, my Maureen, one day I called her and I was just complaining like a big freaking baby. And she was like, Lisa, the sooner you learn to mind your own damn business, the sooner your life will change for the better. And she hung up on me and I was so offended. But she was right. Like, I was paying attention and allowing other people's shit to interfere with like what was happening in my life. And when I stopped caring what other people were doing, then all I had to do was like focus on myself. And yeah, was it uncomfortable? Yes, because like, who likes to freaking see that? I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't like seeing that I freaking needed to change. I thought I was great, you know, and it's a continued practice. It's a continued effort. It's like every day I have to make that decision, you know, to not show up ugly, you know, to be the best that I can be. And, you know, sometimes that means just like keeping my mouth shut. And other times, like what I've learned is that I get an opportunity to stand up for myself where in the past maybe I wouldn't have, you know. And then it's like also there's these different opportunities where I get to keep my mouth shut, and where in the past I didn't keep my mouth shut, you know. So it's like, it's a change for the better. You know, this twin flame journey has changed me for the better. And, you know, that's my, I want to share my experience and my strength and my hope here on my channel. That's what I've done since I've started, you know, in hopes that it helps you. And even if it helps none of you, I know that sharing these messages has, you know, it's helped me. And, you know, I'm reminded of Maureen again. It's like she's there, you know, because I used to be a part of this group, and, you know, every now and then they ask you to share, you know, at these meetings, and you're speaking in front of like 50, 100 people, whatever. And sometimes, you know, give or take a few, whatever. And so it's like she used to say, I remember she said, remember, it's not about you. It's about giving back what was so freely given to you. And that one person in the room that you're going to save is you. Because odds are, if you show up to do this, you aren't going to drink or use. And I'm so grateful. Oh my God. She talked to me like that because she kept my ego in check, you know. When I first met her, she was like coming up on like 28 years of sobriety. And I remember making a big deal. And she goes, oh, no, no, no. Don't you go doing that to me. She goes, me and you, we're in the same boat. The only difference is that I've been here doing the rowing, or I've been in the boat longer, and you just got out of the, let me back it up. It goes like this. She said, the only difference between me and you is that you just got out of the water and you're exhausted and dripping wet from trying to keep your head above it for so long. So I'm doing the rowing. But don't you think for 1 second, one day you won't be doing the rowing for me. She said, that's the way this works. That's the way this works. And I truly feel like that's the reason why God has me exposing on my channel who I am and the things that I've experienced and how I've gotten to the other side. Because I'm someone people never thought would make it. I'm someone that should either be dead still drunk and drug addicted, in some sort of mental psych home or something like that. You know, I'm not some, like, people that have experienced my past usually don't heal, grow, and change. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I choose to do every single freaking day. Because I want any man and woman out there that thinks that they can't be someone other than who people have projected upon them to be. I want you to know you can be anybody that you want. You just got to be willing to do the work. And I'm showing up to do the work. And I know that if I can show up and do the work, anybody in the freaking world can show up and do the work. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me. Have an amazing Sunday or whenever you're watching this. And yeah, look forward to the readings because I'm going to be doing them. I love you.